Good morning, everyone. AYBL Main here, and it's a nice early, crisp morning, and I wanted to go ahead and get out one of my videos. We're at year 29, which is 1997, an awesomely strong year. I love using that word. Um, I had like 27 albums that I looked at to get down to five here, and other than the number one album, I could have rotated a lot of different albums in here, guys, and but I had to pick five. So sometimes it's recency that kind of plays a part in it, and some of these albums might be something that's just recently in my head. At least one of them is. For me, I've got Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death. Definitely not as strong as Ready to Die, but it's got a great track, Hypnotize Me, on there. And also my favorite Notorious B.I.G. song is Going Back to Cali, which it really upset me when I picked up an album that said the greatest hits of Notorious B.I.G. and I flip it over and that song's not on there. So I'm like, throw that away. That's garbage. So I have Life After Death. You should definitely check that out if you're into hip hop at all. Also, my top five is Elliott Smith, Either Or. Basically, what you do is you take Nick Drake and you fast forward him a quarter of a century, and you got Elliott Smith. What some somber songwriting here, guys. It's really good, though. The song that sticks out to me is Between the Bars, and also 2:45 a.m. What an incredible track. Oh, I don't know how anybody writes something like that. It's just fantastic. Definitely give that a try if you've been into Nick Drake at all, you're into singer-songwriters at all. You should definitely check out Elliott Smith's material, and especially that album, Either Or. Also, I've got something I've listened to in the last 7 months, which is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, The Boatman's Call. It's got a lead-off track, Into My Arms. Also, it has There Is a Kingdom. Really not a huge Nick Cave fan before this album, and then I listened to this album, and then I had to start listening to other material of his, and I've listened to at least 3 or 4 other of his albums since I listened to this one. So, but this one is definitely going to crack my top five, guys. It was just so powerful, and Nick is great in it. Also, I've got Nimrod by Green Day making the top five here. This was a last minute ad, as it was like right on the cusp, and so I gave it another listen, and I really like it. I mean, maybe it's not as important as Dookie is in a lot of people's minds, but I think it's a strong album. My favorite track on here is Hashinka, which may be the most original name you could give anybody, or if actually is anybody's name. It was great, though. I love that song. Really punkish. Also has, Good Riddance on here, which is, everybody uses that as some type of ending song for a series or a movie or something, because it's got the time of my life type of theme to it. But also Jinx is a really good track too, so definitely check that out. Nimrod's a good, solid album, and definitely deserves some attention. But 1997, guys, has my second favorite album of all time. It definitely has, I think, the first 6 tracks on there are maybe the strongest first 6 tracks on any album. I'll make that argument with anybody if they would like to do that. It is almost a near perfect album. I only gave out 3 10s ever, and when I did album rankings, and this album was one of them, and it's Radiohead's OK Computer. Just a fantastic album. My favorite track is the lead-off track, Airbag, but I'm also a big fan of Subterranean Homesick Alien. I love Let Down. Karma Police is on here. Exit Music for a Film, and then the highly critically acclaimed Paranoid Android, which has all those different time signatures. Just a fantastic piece of artwork, guys. And I consider it artwork because it's a masterpiece when it comes to music. So, OK Computer. This one's going to be kind of a shade thrower here. This is the album that everybody said I would love, but I actually didn't. And I got to tell you, sometimes you run into this situation where it's not so much that it's a bad album, it's that people overhype it to me as it being this great album. And then I listen to it and I go, okay. But in this case, it's the Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. Now, I like the Foo Fighters. I really do. And I like some of their singles that I've heard and material that I've heard. But this album was just so overhyped to me. Everybody just said it was the greatest thing in the world. And I listened to it and I go, Yeah, I know the tracks on there, like, My Hero and Everlong and things like that. I think My Hero was on the Varsity Blues soundtrack or something. But outside of that, guys, I mean, it didn't sound to me like an album that you would say is one of the greatest albums of all time. So when people hype it to me that way, I'm going to be highly critical of them when they do things like that. So just kind of to let you know there. But that was my greatest album that everybody said I would love, but I didn't. So I'll be at 1998 come next year, come next time. Sorry, technically speaking, and we'll see how everything goes then. So thanks for watching, guys.